Good evening, everybody. I'm Kath Lloyd. It's Wednesday evening and it's Let's Talk. And tonight it is how do we accept something that we don't want? Now, the reason why I have decided to choose this subject is because, hi Dawn, lovely to see you here, is because I've been doing quite a lot of exhibitions lately, and some of these are some of the things, hi Debbie, that I'm going to be talking about over the next few weeks, are things that are cropping up. Hi Jessie, hello Anne. It's nice to see everybody here. Not on my own, but I've got the dog as well. Okay, so the thing is, we go through, changes all of the time that perhaps aren't as big. Hi Ray, lovely to see you here. Like all of the time, like say at work when they are, doing pay cuts. When you can't, or you've got to go and do this Christmas shopping. Hi Sean, lovely to see you here. And with the huge queues, which seem to be phenomenal at the moment, roadworks on your route to work. These are all things that are in our path every day, but we manage them. Okay, but and it's the same process, but on a bigger scale when we're talking about, serious issues of acceptance around life impact change. So it isn't just the little stresses in life that I want to talk about tonight, it's the big impact change that doesn't come around every day, but when it does come around, hi Nick, it really can knock us for six and stop us in our stride if we're not careful. But there's two different sides to it. Well, actually four different sides to it. One, is it about you directly, or is it something that's happened to somebody that you're very close to? Hi Helen, lovely to see you here. The other side of things is it something that has happened to you, like an action, or is it something that somebody has said? And this can cover a whole variety of different issues in life. So it's, when we're talking about what people have said, we're talking about relationships here. So it could be at work, it could be at home, in our private lives, which might, when we're talking about life impacting change, it could be revolving around our parents, our children, our partners, relationship breakdowns, separation, things like that. Or if it's about something that has happened, like an action, it could be a bereavement, it could be an illness, it could be a disability. Day after day we hear, in the media about horrendous stories, don't we, of, people being injured in terrorist attacks, the people who go and fight, the men and women who go and fight, and, for us or for other people in other countries, terrible tragedies happen to them. It could be, things like, an aircraft disaster, all sorts of things. So it's a huge, wide area that we're talking about here. But whatever it, is, if it's a relationship breakdown, if it is life-changing in some way, then the process is the same. I've talked before about the change curve, and I'm a big believer in if it can be explained, if you understand it better, then you're in a better position to be able to accept it. Okay, and when we are, going through change, when something has happened, so say if, your partner has decided they want to end the relationship, or you've had a huge fallout with your children, or they want to go and live in Australia, which, is great for them. But I know if that was going to happen to me, that it would be a huge blow for me, and it would really upset me hugely. And, the first phase of the change curve is about anxiety, it is about shock, and it is about denial. Okay, and then as we go through that process, that first phase, then we sort of dip down into the anxiety side of things, the sadness, the anger, and if something has happened to somebody close to you, then you're going to go, somebody's said something and broken off some form of strong relationship that you felt you had with them. You're going to go through extreme anxiety and sadness, and on the downward curve, which is going to be like a bereavement, because you're having to, you're losing somebody that you didn't want to lose. Okay, and it has that same bereavement impact on you. And so it's about trying to manage those feelings so that you can get through the bottom of the change curve quite easily, so that you can start going back up into acceptance. Okay, so it's about acknowledging what's going on. All right. Sometimes you never know the reasons for this. I mean, one of the things that I think, every tragic situation is difficult to deal with, isn't it? Like disease, injuries, disabilities. And if you can talk to that person and find information out, it does make it a little bit easier. And but things like perhaps suicide, you might never know the reason why that happened. And that is going to be a very, very difficult one to manage. And this is where, the real understanding with yourself and your feelings is really, really important. So it's not only trying to find out what you can from other people about the situation, but it's also being totally honest with yourself as well about your feelings. Why are you feeling like this? Hi Mel, lovely to see you here. Why are you feeling like this? What is it that is making you feel like that? Because it might not be necessarily you feeling sorry for yourself. It might be more to do with the bereavement side, that you might not get that person back as they were before. Okay, and this is where the acceptance is really important, because sometimes, and I know it's really, really difficult, we do just have to accept things the way they are. But that isn't to say you shouldn't fight for something first. And this is when I'm talking about fighting for something, this is where communication is really, really important with people. And keeping the lines of communication open, and trying to get support where you can. So say if support is offered to you, such as counselling, then take that opportunity where you can to try and help you to be honest with yourself, so that you can find some of the answers out for yourself. And unfortunately, it is difficult. And this is something I talk a lot with, on my courses, in my events, with my clients, is about self-honesty. Because, if you understand what you're thinking, feeling, behaving, you're in a better position to change it, to make it better for yourself. So if you understand that it isn't just about you feeling sorry for yourself, perhaps it's about you feeling sad, then how can that be changed? How can it be made easier for yourself? And this is where your support structure is really, really important. For your support network to help you make it easier for yourself, where you can just talk to people, where you can explore ideas. And this is where the right support is really, really important for you. Yes, to be challenged a little bit so that you start thinking outside of the box, outside of your comfort zone, because it is like anything. If you always do what you've always done, you're always going to get what you've always had, in the words of Tony Robbins. Okay, so it's about stretching yourself. It's about stretching your thought processes so that you can really start to find out what you're feeling and how you'd like to be feeling instead. All right. And it's like anything else, it's not going to happen overnight. But if you start shutting down, if you start, going sitting in the corner, not talking to anybody, not wanting to explore these thoughts and these feelings, you're going to stay the same. And all of those challenging thoughts that are going inside your head and going inside your heart are just going to keep going round and round and round and round in circles, and it's going to eat you up. So do you want to be eaten up, or do you want to try and get back to normality, your feeling of normal? It might be not normal like you knew it before, it might be a new normal. But things do change. And for me, over the years, if I accept something, things start to become feeling more normal at around the 3-month mark. But I also know that if I fight it, it'll just go on and on and on and on and on until it starts eating you up. So when we talk about communication, this isn't just about communication with other people, it's about with yourself. All right. And it's about how you ask questions of yourself and to other people. It's the same process. All right. So there's different ways you can do it. All right. There's the negative you message, which is, you did this on purpose, you're to blame, you've been treating me really badly, what you did is unforgivable, I'm never going to forgive you, your actions have hurt me, and it's never going to be the same again. Yes, it's important to express how you're feeling, but there's different ways of doing it. If you go in with the you negative message, you can almost feel the finger pointing, immediately you're going to get a bad response back, and you end up in a fight, say things that you don't want to say, and then with huge regrets, and nothing will get sorted out. All right. The other way of doing it is using a positive I message. All right. And it's about planning what you're going to say. And I'm still talking about whether this is to yourself or to somebody else. All right. And this will help you with the acceptance side. So the positive I message is, I'm feeling like this. I'm finding it difficult. I'm struggling with. I can't manage this very well. All right. So what's happening is you're taking the pressure off the other person or yourself, because you're not doing the finger pointing with the negative you message. All right. You are communicating better because you're expressing what's going on inside of you, your feelings. All right. And then on the end of that, put an open-ended question. All right. I'm struggling with managing the feelings that I'm feeling because of what's been said or what's been done. Please will you help me by explaining why you said that, or why you did that, or why this happened, or why that happened. Yeah, so it's softening everything. All right, and then adding that open-ended question on the end will get, or should get, a better response from that person, because one, you haven't gone in with the pointer fingering. Have I said that right? I can't remember. You're to blame. It's your fault. All right, you're going in from the other side about you, how you're feeling, how you're thinking, how you're behaving, and admitting that you don't like how you're thinking and you're feeling, and how can it be made better? How can it be made easier? Okay. And because you're never going to move forwards if you're having the conflict. All right. But you've got to have that conversation. And it's not going to be easy, because you might get answers that you don't want. All right. But at least you've got some information. So this can be in all sorts of different areas. You know, if it's about the illness, if it's about the disability, it might be to do with, at the hospital, or with some different friends, or with some different relatives. It might be, if it's a tragic accident, it might be, the police. It could be people at the workplace. But it's about preparing yourself for information that you don't want, or you don't want to hear. But if you hear it, then you can start to manage it, and you'll have some answers. So, this is a huge topic, and with it is going to come with lots of stresses and strains. Okay, but it's about, one, finding the information out, but also looking after yourself as well. So it's about, what I've talked about the last few weeks. It's about your, getting your exercise, eating properly, sleeping properly, socializing with people who are of good support for you, so that you can manage yourself, your feelings, your thoughts, and your behaviors more easily. Okay, you won't be able to do everything that you used to do before while you are trying to channel all of this information, while you're trying to work through it all, but try and keep some of those things going, because that is what will help you keep your normal. All right? No, it's not a normal situation, but it's about trying to keep some of your normal going so that you can stay in touch with yourself. So, I hope that has answered some of the questions to do with how do we accept something that we don't want. It's a difficult one, isn't it? Because we don't want it, but it's thrown at us, and it's finding your way through the minefield so that you can accept it and manage it, live through it, so that you can come out the other side stronger. Because these things will try you. They will push you to your limits. But it's about trying to keep some form of control. And that control can be done in a purposeful way. There are going to be times when you are feeling totally out of control. But there, again, it's about trying to do that in the best way that you can without tipping the balance on other relationships, especially the ones that are meaningful to you and are super important to you. Because, in these life impacting change times, they are the the relationships that are going to really support you, really keep you going, and then continue with those afterwards. So there we go for today. And it's a lot about what I've talked about already. But it's about how you use them to your advantage. So while I've just got a few minutes before we go, next week I'm at Cheltenham at Maximise, which is the Women's Business Conference and Awards at Cheltenham. And if you want to come along, it's going to be a really, really good day of talks, of different business women being there. I'm going to be there with my book. Oh, actually, I've got a bookmark here. It's all back to front though, I think, isn't it? When My Dad Became Joan, Life with My Transgender Father. So I'm going to be there selling my book. I know there's people there. There's a speaker from Dragon's Den. There's going to be some great things going on. And if you want to join us, it'd be lovely to see you. Tickets start at £40. That includes all of the talks. Now, if you'd like to come along, you can get a little bit of a discount by using my discount code, which is CathFunk. So that's C-A-T-H. Sorry, Cathfunky. C-A-T-H-F-U-N-K-Y. I'll put it down in the comments box at the end of this video, and that will give you a little bit of a discount. So what you need to do if you want to come along, it's www.maximise.live. But again, I'll put that in the comments box for you. So no live Facebook next week, but I would like to do something. So I'm hoping to put some kind of a little video up. My husband's just poking his head around the door. The tea's ready. And if I'm not careful, half a head. And if I'm not careful, it'll be in the dog or shared between the dogs. Okay. But then I've got the two next live Facebooks coming up are I Struggle to Relax. That's the one just before Christmas. And the other one is something about struggling. That's it. How do I find myself? All right. Because some people, as they go through life, they feel as if they've lost the real them. So, hi Serena, lovely to see you here. So, no live Facebook next week, and then it's how do I find my lost self? The title, something like that. And then the one before Christmas is why do I struggle to relax? Okay, so I'm going to love you and leave you. I'm going to go and have my tea and have a great evening, and I will speak to you live in 2 weeks' time. Have a great night. Bye-bye.